Is back, and that means tonight it's the Mets and the Yankees in what is game number 2 of a 3-game weekend series here at Yankee Stadium. Primetime baseball for you on Fox. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming right up. Well, for the New York Mets, they have been through a lot off the field and certainly on it with all of the injuries they have sustained so far in 2011. Yet last night, they climbed the 500 mark with a 2-1 win over the Yankees here in the Bronx. And Tim, the Mets have 4 guys in their lineup again tonight that started the year at AAA, and yet they're getting a ton of production, especially out of a guy named Justin Turner.
Well, he's had a hand in almost every victory over the last 6 or 7 games. In fact, in the last 6 games, the Mets have scored 17 runs. 11 have been driven in by Justin Turner.
On the other hand, you've got the New York Yankees, and you cannot pick up one article about the Yankees and not see the word age, and some of those veterans, those older guys, have got to pick it up.
I think it's premature. I mean, after all, it's only May, but it's unavoidable. When you hit 35 in baseball and things start going downhill, you're considered too old.
Well, their starter tonight, A.J. Burnett, is 34. He's not 35, and he takes on Chris Capuano for the New York Mets. It was once just called the Mayor's Trophy game, a friendly exhibition. But in '97, everything changed with interleague play. The Mets have had their moments, but it's been the Yankees who have had the fun, including a 2000 series win over the Mets. This one is always for bragging rights, where anything can happen. It's the battle for the Big Apple, and it's yours next on Fox. It's a gorgeous night, 62 degrees. There's a chance of showers. We had a ton of rain about an hour before the game. And A.J. Burnett is ready to take the mound. In fact, presto, he's on there. That's actually taped. And the opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. See the blue skies overhead. Chance of showers as we go through the rest of the night. Here's the Taco Bell lineup. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And for the Mets, same group as last night in their 2-1 win. Reyes, Murphy, and Beltran. In the middle, Bay, Martinez, and then Justin Turner. Tolle is the catcher. Pridey in center, and Ruben Tejada is the young second baseman and likely the shortstop of the future. And there are the numbers this season, Tim, for A.J. Burnett, who blew a lead last time out against Tampa Bay. And starts the night with a strike.
Second game of the season, we did the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees. A.J. Burnett started that game. And we said a lot of the Yankees' success depends on Burnett. We still feel that way. And that's the pitch right there. If he can get ahead and then go to his breaking ball, very, very difficult to hit.
They appealed down to third. They said no swing. Let's see how far Reyes went. Awfully far, but it's ball one. Saw the numbers 4 and 3 in ERA, under 4, barely. And a shot into right center field off the bat of Reyes. Swisher overruns it, and he will not get Reyes from the seat of his pants. And Reyes starts tonight with a double.
There is no doubt that the rain that occurred here about an hour before game time had something to do with that play. Not only the slip, but the hop had bounced back to where Reyes, with an easy double, actually could have stood up. Balls like that, you throw to third to cut him off.
And it brings in Daniel Murphy, who last night went deep. Turned into the game-winning home run in the 6th inning in what was a 2-1 win for the Mets. So Burnett right into trouble with a leadoff double, and he hits the outside corner, strike one to Murphy. Mets are 22 and 22. They are 5 out, and they're at the 500 mark for the first time since they were 4 and 4. They've won 7 of 9 and 10 of 14. They're hot. And the 0-1 in the air to left, a base hit. Reyes will hold at third, and it's first and third, nobody out. Right into trouble for one of the guys who needs to be a leader in this rotation, A.J. Burnett.
Both hits, the double and the single, on fastballs. The opponent averaged 228. We'll talk more about that. So Burnett has been doing pretty well in that department. He needs to stay ahead in the count. He got both fastballs over to Reyes and Murphy, but the Mets with runners on first and third and nobody out. But chaos follows when the walks, wild pitches, and hit batsmen occur.
And that hasn't happened. It's been a double and a single to bring in Beltran, who has had a great start to his season. Breaking ball fouled away for strike one. Carlos last year was bothered by a knee injury. In fact, the last couple of years he's not played anywhere close to a full season. Last year 64 games, 81 and 09. Last year 7 home runs, 27 RBIs, had surgery. Here's the 0-1. Ball and a strike, and early on in spring training, manager Terry Collins had a conversation with Beltran about moving out of center field. They put him in right. And since joining this team early on in the season, he has been their most dependable player with the bat and making the starting lineup. Nice play by Russell Martin to keep that pitch at home plate, ball 2.
Joe, we've talked about this as last year was being the year of the pitcher, and you saw that 228 average that American League hitters have hit off Burnett. That is 18th in the American League. The lowest average of any pitcher, Justin Verlander, at 178, 50 points lower than Burnett.
Here's a 2-1. That just missed. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, ball 3. Verlander has a no-hitter already this season, and 2 in his career. Beltran could give the Mets the lead. And a check on Murphy before a 3-1 pitch to Beltran, who has 21 of his 40 hits total as extra base hits.
Damage on a fastball here.
Here it comes. And a good swing and a foul straight back. 94-mile-per-hour pitch. He was right on it.
14 years ago in Class A ball, Kevin Long, the Yankee batting coach, was the hitting coach of Carlos Beltran when he played for the Wilmington, Delaware Class A team. Imagine what Kevin Long is thinking now. He's in the other dugout watching Beltran hit left-handed.
These Yankee fans are thinking strikeout. And Burnett gives a look at third, a look at first. Stalling before a 3-2 pitch. Leadoff double by Reyes and a base hit into left by Murphy. A full count on Beltran with Jason Bay on deck.
I don't think you can get away with another fastball here.
See that hole on the right side of the infield. And that'll load him up. You can look at the defense behind Burnett and in front of him, for that matter, with Andrew Jones, Granderson, Nick Swisher in the outfield. Eduardo Nunez gets the start at third. A-Rod is the DH. Jeter, Cano, Teixeira. And in front of Burnett is Russell Martin, who is going to try and figure out a way to get A.J. Burnett out of a big damaging inning here in the first. Jason Bay has struggled. Takes a strike. Bay made his season debut on the 21st of April, hit .391 over his first 6 games. Just .169 over his last 18. That's not good. The 0-1. Ball and a strike. The 1-1. Late swing and a foul, strike 2. Here's the injured David Wright, who's out with a stress fracture in his back. You don't have Ike Davis. They don't have Pagan, who's working his way back. No Johan Santana, but they are a 500 club. Here comes a 1-2. 2-2.
A.J. Burnett with 16 wild pitches last year, and most of them came on the breaking ball, because his breaking ball, to be effective, has to be down. Very, very difficult pitch to block.
Mets did not have a grand slam all of last year. That's foul. Earlier in the week, manager Terry Collins, and we'll talk plenty about him tonight, toyed with the idea of putting Jason Bay in the number 2 spot. Spot that they have tried to fill since the injury to Pagan, who's out with an oblique strain. They've kept Bay in the cleanup position. He's up in a key spot here. Another foul. Yankees have lost 6 straight at home. First time that's happened to the Yankees here in this park, and the first time they've gone through that kind of a stretch since '03. Another 2-2. And a fly ball into right will put the Mets on top. Swisher floats one into third, and it's 1-0 Mets on a sac fly by Bay. All things considered, A.J. Burnett will take it. Now runners at first and second, 1 out. And here are the forward keys to the game.
Well, for the Mets, stay with what got them to Yankee Stadium. It's called Collins mix. And for the Yankees to break the streak at home, as Joe said, they've lost 6 in a row.
Did I spoil the surprise there with that? I apologize.
Not at all.
Here's Fernando Martinez, who has been in the Mets organization since he was 16.
That was a very good play by Nick Swisher in right field. By going to third base, he held Murphy at second base, and that prevented him from going to third base with less than 2 outs. Good job.
Strike one on Fernando Martinez, who's now 22 and has an arthritic knee.
How about that for a 22-year-old?
And it's been injuries and a lack of consistency that slowed down a guy that they've been talking about as their top prospect for the last couple of years. 2 on, 1 out. And strike 2. Good hook from A.J. Burnett.
Oh, this is a real downer and shows you why the Yankees signed A.J. Burnett. Best curveball he's thrown tonight. Oof.
Martinez set up and strikes out. 2 gone. Set up and then knocked down by A.J. Burnett, who's 1 out away from getting out of a bases loaded nobody out situation, giving up only 1.
Good curve to get to 2 strikes and to finish the deal.
And a real good job by Russell Martin to smother that ball on a nasty pitch down and in. It brings in Justin Turner, who has RBIs in 6 straight games. You look at the numbers, 364 average. Ball 1 high.
That's a very unusual stance for Turner. He keeps the bat on his shoulder until the ball is on the way. Not too many guys in recent memory do that, or in any memory really. He rests the bat on his right shoulder.
Takes a rip and the count 1-1.
One of the problems with that particular style is you foul balls back the other way and you're not really prepared for the fastball. But boy, has he been prepared for anything the last week.
Now the third baseman saw David Wright. Turner's played well over there. 1-1 pitch is fouled back on a high delivery, strike 2. Here's the week it was for Justin Turner. Since last Saturday, a lot of RBIs.
That ties the Mets rookie record. Ron Swoboda had driven in runs as a rookie back in 1965, 6 in a row.
Two and 2. Yankees needed A.J. Burnett to stop a 5-game losing streak his last time out. He blew a 5-1 lead in the 6th inning at Tampa Bay. 6 straight losses, and the Yankees won 3 in a row. And last night they were shut down by the knuckleball of R.A. Dickey. And Russell Martin wants to go out and talk. While they talk, Chris Rose will talk. A quick game break back in L.A. Meanwhile, you've got the Red Sox, and thanks Chris and Mitch, who've won 7 straight, and they're playing in Boston tonight against the Cubs. Still 2-2 in what is a long first inning for A.J. Burnett. But just to get back to that point, if you've got a 5-1 lead and you've lost 5 in a row and you're a veteran against a division rival, David Price on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays last time. You look at the AL East, last time A.J. Burnett was on the mound. That's a game you got to win.
Yep. Particularly when staked to a 4-1 lead in the 6th.
Down and in, full count, and the runners will go. 2-run home run by Fold in that game, then B.J. Upton. The lead was gone, a 6-5 loss. And this will be at least a 28-pitch first inning for Burnett. Runners go. And Turner's had a nice at bat. Crowd a bit more charged up tonight here in the first inning than last night. We're about 1,000 seats short of a sellout. Say that 5 times fast. I blew it my first chance. They are buzzing here on a Saturday night. Base hit into right. How hot is Turner? Murphy scores to make it 2-0 Mets. And Turner's driven in a run in 7 straight. A Mets rookie record. What a good at bat.
I was thinking the same thing. Fouling off tough pitch after tough pitch. He finally gets a 3-2 fastball rifled to right field, similar to the first hit that he had in last night's ball game to put the Mets on the board. And then the home run by Murphy, and the Mets won it 2-1. What a week. My gosh.
Justin Turner's 26 years old. He's now playing third base. When he first joined this team, he was at second. Then David Wright went down, as did Ike Davis. They moved Daniel Murphy over to first. They inserted Ruben Tejada at second. They moved Turner to third, and he hasn't slowed down. And the former Oriole, who the Mets got off waivers last year, Justin Turner has been unstoppable. First and third, 2 out. And Tolley flies one into center. Back to grab it is Granderson. Mets get 2. Good start for the Mets, who won here last night after a half, with Capuano to the hill up 2-0. Left-hander tonight. Here's the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Yankees. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. No surprises except at the bottom. Not that it's a grand surprise, but Joe Girardi tries to move the DH spot around. Tonight it's A-Rod. With a left-hander on the hill, no Posada. Jeter, Granderson, Teixeira, Rodriguez, Cano, Russell, Martin. And in the back end of it, it's Swisher, Andrew Jones, and Eduardo Nunez against the lefty, Chris Capuano.
Given up 2 runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts. Chris, a nice addition to the Mets. A ton of changeups. He's a different pitcher, obviously. I say obviously. There are some that aren't Some even throw harder after Tommy John surgery. He had that 3 years ago in 2008. And he shuts down the running game with one of the best moves to first base now that Andy Pettitte is retired.
You also say, obviously, on your home answering machine.
Obviously.
Which says, I'm not here to take your call right now. Obviously. Makes me smile every time I hear it.
It does.
I don't know why.
If I were there, I wouldn't need a recording.
Why not?
Yeah, that's the point, I guess.
Derek Jeter first up, and Granderson to Shera against Capuano. First pitch, hacking in a fly ball into center. Whitey takes care of it, 1 out. Take a look at the defense for the Mets. And Tim, they've been pretty good. Pitching certainly out of their bullpen, and defensively they've committed just 21 errors despite all these players moving all around. By comparison, the Yankees have committed 32. There's their infield now with Turner, Reyes, Tejada, Murphy, with a catcher Tolley.
Well, the defense is buoyed by Jose Reyes at short. In fact, he won a ball game with his glove last night, as Jerry Seinfeld would say, as long as the gloves are leather.
And the bats are wood.
Right.
We were both listening to that opening tonight. That was great.
That was wonderful.
Obviously well written. I mean, what would you expect out of Jerry Seinfeld, who is a diehard Mets fan? But that was a good way to start our night. Here's a 1-1. Strike 2. Here's that play last night. Diving stop by Jose Reyes, and it shows you what he can do. To his left, took a little tricky hop, popped up and got A-Rod. And I think both sides were saying after the game last night that was the play of the game.
That's right.
2-2. Granderson has been great. Number 2 in the American League with his 14 home runs. He has been the most consistent player the Yankees have had as he strikes out for out number 2. He's also popped 7 home runs against left-handed pitching, but this time Capuano spins one down and away.
That is a tough slider that from a hitter standpoint appears to just keep going.
Jeff Kellogg is behind the plate. Eric Cooper is at first, Carlson at second, and Tim Timmons is over at third. Teixeira takes a strike. Capuano, who came up with Arizona in 03 and then was an all-star with Milwaukee, as he pulls the string on Teixeira. Strike 2. Was out of baseball in 2008, had Tommy John surgery. But he is a nice story for the Mets, one of many. He's not in the category of a kid coming up, but a guy who's getting another chance after working predominantly out of the pen last year with Milwaukee when he was 4-4. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Grew up in Massachusetts, Capuano, and he came out here yesterday prior to game 1 of this series and just wanted to take it all in. He'd never been here. A deep breath, and here's a 2-2. And there he is. That man again, Turner. And we've played one in the Bronx. The guys from Queens up 2-0. Robinson broke baseball's color barrier. The Polo Grounds, home to the shot heard around the world and Willie Mays' famous catch. Yankee Stadium, where do you even begin? And Shea Stadium, where the '69 Miracle Mets first captured the imagination of a generation. It's all part of the history of baseball in New York. And when you come to Yankee Stadium, whether this one or the old one that was around from, 1923 through 2008, you don't have to look too far to find the former spot of the Polo Grounds, as Pridey leads it off and takes a ball.
Coogan's Bluff, about 2 miles from here. Maybe that's a stretch. Mile and a half just across the river.
I mean it's right there.
Yeah.
2 teams in New York, 2 leagues, Giants and Yankees. Batter is Pridey, who is hitting .236. Got off to a good start. He has slowed down of late. He's got some pop. Mets believe he might run into a pitch here in this series and rip one into the seats in right with that short porch out there. And as the count goes to 2-1. Pridey is playing center. There's a look down the line, 314 into the corner. And the Mets are waiting for the return of Angel Pagan, who probably will get back to the big league club at the beginning of next week. He's on his minor league rehab. That's into right and sounded like he may have broken his back. 1 out. And you can't talk about the history of baseball in New York without talking about Casey Stengel. Played for the Brooklyn Dodgers 1912 to 1917. Managed the team in the 30s. Played for the Giants in the early 20s. Won the 22 World Series. Managed the Yankees. Won 7 titles and then was the first manager of the Mets. Was there from 62 to 65.
So was a manager, coach, or a player for all 4 teams in New York City.
As Ruben Tejada steps in, hitting just .189 in his short time in the big leagues against right-handed pitching, takes the ball.
You mentioned the World Series in 1922. Casey Stengel hit the first inside the park home run at the original Yankee Stadium in the World Series in 1923 as a member of the New York Yankees.
1-1 on Tejada.
Actually, it was a member of the Giants, I beg your pardon, against the Yankees.
Here is a 1-1 pitch from Burnett. And it is outside. Tejada went. That's strike 2.
You think if the 1962 Mets, losers of 120 games as Tejada goes too far, if they would have been as lovable without Casey Stengel as the manager? I don't think so.
Here is a 1-2 from Burnett. And then obviously you hear the stories about the great storytelling of Casey Stengel. And I grew up hearing about stories from my dad about banquets and just sitting in a hotel lobby listening to Stengelese. Here's another 1-2 from Burnett. And he went, struck him out on a curveball, 2 away. So 2 out, back to the top, and Jose Reyes. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Lowe's and sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And here is Reyes, who's an interesting story. As that one dips in for a strike because his contract is up at the end of the year. Provided he stays healthy, and he's had a tough time doing that over the last 2 seasons, he will cash in big this coming off season, likely with a different franchise.
I don't see how the Mets can afford him with all the problems that are going on off the field, the well-chronicled problems with the Mets ownership.
And all the financial constraints.
Right.
Get a Carl Crawford type deal. You don't figure that'll happen in a Mets uniform. Bottom of the second rolls in. Yankees bat down 2-0. Lowe's is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Here comes Alex Rodriguez, who is hitting .268 homers, 24 RBIs. And it's been a roller coaster. It's been a little better of late. A-Rod got off to a great start. And he went through a terrible stretch after missing a couple of games with a strained rib cage muscle. He jumped back in there, but the power has been down. And as he jumps up on the count, 2 balls and a strike. There's the April. May, the average is down, the production 6 RBIs. But he did hit 2 home runs in a game this week when the Yankees needed it to snap their 6-game losing streak in a win on Tuesday night in Tampa Bay.
And that's his power pitch right there. After missing down and 2 inside, Capuano went away from A-Rod and he fouled it away. Don't think you can get him out there.
And he lines one foul.
Your question to Terry Collins before the game, how does the left-hander Capuano plan to work A-Rod? He sit inside like everybody else. Scouting reports, I mean, for the most part, there are other people other than just pitchers and catchers who know a hitter's weakness. American League pitchers try to pitch A-Rod inside. Here it comes.
And he gets incited and lines it back into center for a leadoff hit. That's what makes him so good. Obviously, Tim, he's got the power out to right center. He can pull it to left. But as you look at pitch by pitch, watch how he stays inside on that last delivery.
First pitch is strike. That's the pitch fouled away. Now he fouls and fights that ball up, and then down and in, rifles it back through the middle. He's so strong. You know, A-Rod knows that pitchers try to pitch him inside too.
Almost all major league hitters have an idea about how a team's trying to get them out. May vary a bit with different pitchers, but they know.
Brings in Robinson Cano, who has struggled. This month hitting just .224 with 1 home run. Compared to April, when he hit 8 and hit .330. You talk about a lack of consistency for the Yankees. They will bust out as they did a couple nights ago with 13 runs to back Sabathia last night, completely shut down by the knuckleball of R.A. Dickey. And they are scoring runs predominantly via the home run. Well, 51% of their runs scored come from home runs hit. Last night, Joe Girardi's club 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, having a tough time manufacturing runs. Pitching has been pretty good as Cano pops it up. Turner comes on, 1 on, 1 out. How about a Phillies update? Let's go back to Chris and Mitch. With Cliff Lee pitching tonight for Philadelphia, the Yankees made that big push to get Cliff Lee. He went back to the Phillies after pitching at the end of last year for the Texas Rangers. And a check on Rodriguez, who's at first with 1 out. This month, this is a Phillies team that's not scoring runs. 28th in Major League Baseball, yet their starters ERA is just over 3, and it should be with that kind of talent. As Capuano misses up and away. Ball 1 to Russell Martin.
Several prominent pitchers who excelled in 2010 are not doing well this year. One of them is Cliff Lee. Cliff already has walked 13 this year. He only walked 18 in 2010.
Here's a 1-0. In for a strike.
Ubaldo Jimenez 0-3. John Danks of the White Sox 0-6. Matt Latos of the San Diego Padres 1-6.
Padres just went on an offensive tear.
Yeah.
There's one in the left. Tie game home run. Russell Martin. 2-2.
We told you in the scouting report a ton of changeups from Capuano, and it looked like Martin was sitting on the changeup to tie this game up.
Russell Martin last year with the Dodgers, an injury played a part of it. Hit only 5 home runs. Hello, Jason Bay. Drove in 26. Well, he has now hit 8 and driven in 24 in what? Basically 7 weeks of the season here in 2011 as Swisher takes a strike. That's strike 2 on Nick, who is struggling. But he's been good against left-handed pitching. Overall, however, hitting .218. At some point we'll talk about Terry Collins, who is in his first year as manager of the Mets. after spending last year as their minor league field coordinator. The first and 0-2. Just up and away. I don't think, and this is in hindsight, but I don't think the Mets could have picked a better guy to manage this team, especially the way 2011 has unfolded with all these kids coming up. The 1-2. 2-2.
Bobby Valentine was an outside chance. Wally Backman, who is now managing for the Mets in the minors, I believe the Brooklyn Cyclones, I think. Those were two choices.
Here's one into center, and Pridey hauls it in, 2 out. But there was obviously fan support for somebody like Backman because of his great years there in the 80s as their tough second baseman. Then Bobby Valentine had success and took the Mets to the World Series back in 2000 when they played and lost to the New York Yankees. They went with a name, a guy who had managed at 2 different spots in the big leagues, Houston and Anaheim, in Terry Collins, but somebody who knew this organization, was not going to command the kind of salary that somebody like Bobby Valentine would. So that was a factor.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the splashy hiring for the Mets, who are trying to re-engage their fan base, and yet Terry Collins has evolved as a manager. He's having more fun. He's more communicative with his players. And talking to guys in their clubhouse, they love playing for Terry Collins, and it has shown on the field.
Chuck Tanner, who passed last year, used to say the best thing about playing Major League Baseball is winning a Major League Baseball game. The second best thing is losing one, which means you're having fun. You have the opportunity to win. And I think that's what Terry has instilled in the Mets in the early going, in the first 2 months of the season plus spring training. He's learned a lot.
Here's a 1-2 to Andrew Jones right down the middle, and Jones just drops the bat in the helmet. He's out. So was the ball hit by Russell Martin. He has tied it at 2 with this as we go to the third in the Bronx. Back after this, your local Fox station. presented by Lowe's as we go into the third inning here on what's turned into a very nice night in New York. First up is Daniel Murphy, the #2 hitter, then Beltran and Jason Bay against Burnett, who loaded the bases in the first inning and gave up 2. Ball 1 down and in. Murphy's single was a part of that rally. His single followed a leadoff double by Jose Reyes. Here's a 1-0. Granderson will go get it. Maybe. 1 out. You can help make a baseball moment kids will never forget. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball. Plus enter to win one of 4 trips to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game and the keys to a new Chevrolet. Definitely worth a visit to ChevyBaseball.com as Beltran steps in. And takes a strike. We never really finished the point about Jose Reyes, that if his deal is running out and he is a difference-making type player, he is somebody that could be targeted by other organizations to severely upgrade a lineup around the trading deadline. And the guy at the plate, Carlos Beltran, is also on that list. He has proven to this point that his knees are healthy and he has been productive. A switch hitting outfielder. And it skips in, and Russell Martin took that one off his hand or arm. And there are where these two players rank in the National League this season. Reyes leads in triples, multi-hit home runs, rather multiple hit games, tied for the league in hits, stolen bases, tied with Michael Bourne, and Beltran second in doubles, third in extra base hits. The 1-2. Beltran went around, and that is strikeout number 3 for A.J. Burnett. And out number 2 here in the third.
Carlos, of course, not the impact player right now that Jose Reyes will be. There are several teams in the major leagues that would go from a mediocre team to a contender immediately if they signed Reyes.
The world champion Giants are looking for a shortstop. That's the obvious one that jumps to mind. Got a lot of that good young pitching. I mean, the Mets have to rebuild. They've got pieces here. They like some of the kids, but this is going to be a big test and a monumental effort by Sandy Alderson, the very capable GM, also in his first year, in trying to put this team back together and make them contenders in what is a very tough division.
Yeah, Sandy, the engineer with a lot of Oakland Athletic teams, along with Tony La Russa back in the late 80s, early 90s. Also in San Diego, he's been successful really everywhere he's gone.
Mets have a big investment in the guy at the plate, Jason Bay, $66 million. Signed him prior to last year. Longtime Pirate, was very good for the Red Sox. Has yet to find that consistent success with the Mets. As he's up on the count here, 3-1. Check swing on ball 4, a 2-out walk.
By the way, Joe, since as we take a look at Larry Rothschild, the Yankees pitching coach, as we talk about New York baseball, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania beat the Binghamton Mets today in Binghamton. And guess who the manager is? Wally Backman. So I made a mistake. He's not the manager of the Brooklyn Cyclones. He's the manager of the Binghamton Mets. And you can bet he's listening tonight. And that it's got to pacify an old friend, Wally Backman.
Who you covered back in the 80s with the Mets.
Right. What a feisty guy. And I think someday will be a major league manager.
1 on, 2 out. Fernando Martinez at the plate, and a clunker to second. Cano with that little flip for the out. We go to the bottom of the third. Who's coming up? Nunez. Then this guy. Then Granderson. 2-2 game. Yankees Mets. Wilfred, a new original comedy starring Elijah Wood, premieres next month on FX.
All right. Wait is over.
Bottom of the third inning, and Eduardo Nunez first up. There it is, Wilfred. Elijah Wood next month on FX. Nunez gets the start at third base tonight. He's got some pop. He can handle the bat. He's hitting .300. He has struggled defensively. Made 6 errors. He's already made more errors than anybody in this Yankee lineup, despite sporadic playing time, as that one's inside from Capuano, who gave up a game-tying 2-run home run to Russell Martin last inning. The 1-2. Turner to his left takes care of it, 1 out. Derek Jeter will walk to the plate. 29 hits shy of 3,000 in his career. No Yankee has done that. Get to the 3,000 hit plateau, and he has killed the Mets. First of all, he hits well in interleague games. 322 hits, most all time. You saw the career average against the Mets, 379. His highest against any opponent. Second highest all time, Rico Carty hit 380 against the Mets. And then the 2000 World Series MVP, when he hit 409, hit 2 home runs, had 9 hits in a short World Series against the Mets. And a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Capuano. Massachusetts native is charged up to pitch here at Yankee Stadium. Strike 1. See that Blue Jays final at the bottom of your screen. Jose Bautista hit 2 more today. He has been a machine since coming to the Blue Jays. He led baseball in home runs last year, and he now has 18 to lead that guy, Curtis Granderson, who is on deck with his 14. Here's a 1-1. And another hit for Jeter. .28 shy of 3,000, 1 on 1 out here in the third inning for the Yankees. That is the excellence of Bill Webb, our director, down in the truck. Going right to the scoreboard to show the hit total. Here is Granderson, who has been excellent since late in the year last year. Simplified his batting stroke, and it has paid off. Strike one. So a slow start for Burnett. Tim McCarver in the first inning loading the bases, but Russell Martin tied this game with a 2-run shot.
Russell Martin now with 8 home runs. You talked about Granderson with 14 home runs, but 7 against left-handed pitching. Talk about impressive.
I mean, this was a guy who came from the Tigers with a reputation being a very good defensive outfielder, being good against right-handed pitching, and being basically a give-up in the low 200s in his career. I think 218 when he came to the Yankees against left-handed pitching. But it has not bothered him with a home run stroke since changing things with hitting coach Kevin Long. That's a swinging strike two. It's 0-2.
It's an expression that's come up in baseball over the last decade, I'd say, being short to the ball. It's very apt description of why hitters are successful.
And he strikes out for the second time tonight. Same pitch that got him back in the first.
It's that slider diving away out of the strike zone. Very effective has Capuano been against Granderson so far.
We could play a soundbite from Granderson talking about the changes he's made to his swing, but it doesn't seem fitting after a strikeout.
No, not after striking out twice.
Here's Teixeira. That's well hitting to right center. And the Yankees jump on top.
Looks like a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and Teixeira, who homered last night, puts the Yankees on top tonight.
Home run number 12 on the year. Third highest total in the American League as Alex Rodriguez takes a strike, and here is a good look at that shot into right center. So a 4-2 Yankee lead here in the bottom of the third as Rodriguez takes strike two. All four of the runs tonight on home runs. 2-run shot by Russell Martin. 2-run shot by Teixeira. Ball one down and in. Rodriguez backed up on the count 1-2. And that misses down and away. Now a full count. A rocket that trips up Reyes as he moved to his left. He can't hit it any harder, but that ends the inning. Last night, Mark Teixeira off a rare Dickey fastball went deep, batting left-handed tonight. Batting right-handed, shoots one into right center field, and with that swing, 4-2 Yankees as we go to the fourth at Yankee Stadium. All new Focus from Ford. Drive one. Everybody in the Mets organization wants to send along condolences to the family of Tom Fursh. As Burnett deals, and it's a line drive. Diving catch by Swisher in right to rob Turner of another hit. One out in the fourth, and what a good play. Let's go to the replay first before we finish the thought. Got a good jump and was there for the out. Swisher in right. But Tom Fursh, who was a senior director of group sales and tickets, 17 years in the Mets organization, was devoted to the team, watched the game last night, and passed away about an hour after the game. And Jay Horowitz, their terrific PR director, gave me the note to pass on and say on the game tonight. And they are thinking about Tom and his family here tonight while they play the Yankees. Tolley is at the plate, and the count evens at 1-1. We had a chance to visit with Joe Girardi during the break, and we will give that interview to you if we get a chance here in the fourth. Tolley 0 for 1, fly to center, and now grounds to short. Jeter. First question to Girardi was about how happy it made Joe to see Teixeira hit a home run into right.
Yeah, it's great because he doesn't hit a lot of homers right-handed to right field, and he's got 2 this year, and it does make us feel good.
It's got to make you feel good. Speaking of feeling good, when A.J. Burnett got out of that bases loaded, nobody out jam with just giving up 2 runs.
Yeah, I mean, that might end up being the key to the game. You don't know, but I mean, that's an important inning, and obviously Turner has put some great at-bats on us, or it could have been one. And that's a big inning for AJ.
If there's one thing missing from your club right now so far as you are 3 games over 500, what are you looking for? More consistency out of this lineup?
Yeah, I think so. And we still have some guys that are struggling. It's May 20th, 21st, and we got to get them going. And, we have some big bats in our lineup, but we've had some guys struggle for most of the year.
I know it's been a long week, but you still having fun down in the corner of that dugout?
I definitely am. I love what I do, and obviously you're going to go through things as a manager and as a club, but it just brings you closer together.
And it shows. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Joe Girardi, in his 4th year as manager of the Yankees, won it all back in his 2nd year, 2009. Signed through 2013, a new deal. There was speculation he would end up with the Cubs after last year. The Cubs went with Mike Quaddy. And Joe Girardi, I think he's really evolved in his time here with the Yankees, and he has had to deal with a lot so far this season. I thought the quote during the week, coming off the Posada incident last Saturday, where he said, I'm managing some Yankees that have had wonderful careers that are aging in front of us, just like all of us have, and there's no manual on it.
Yeah, that was the quote of the week as far as I'm concerned.
Here is a 2-2 from Burnett. Ball 3. Joe Torre had the luxury of managing these guys like Jeter and certainly Rivera and Posada and Pettit when they were on their way up. Joe Girardi now, after winning it all a couple of years ago, does not have a younger ball club here in 2011, but they're leading tonight 4-2 into the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to snap a 6-game home losing streak on a beautiful night at the ballpark in the Bronx. Reaction from tonight. It's a 4-2 Yankee lead, and Cano goes after the first pitch and flies it into left for Jason Bay. 1 pitch, 1 out, with the Yankees leading 4-2. David Wright is on the disabled list, and one of the good guys across Major League Baseball. See that smile, that award-winning smile that David has on his face, and I know it's killing you right now to be talking to us, maybe on a number of levels, but secondly, that you're not out there playing. How you feeling?
I feel better. I feel better. You know, like you said, it's killing me not to be out there right now. This is a special weekend, and any chance you get to come to Yankee Stadium and play these guys and play in front of these fans, and you miss out on that opportunity, it's not fun, I'll tell you that. David,
tell us about the collision with Carlos Lee of the Houston Astros, if you would.
Well, I'm giving Justin Turner, you know, a lot of crap because he overthrew a double play that I was backing up on, and it was a foot race between Carlos Lee and I at third base, and you know, that's not a man that you want to try to tackle. He's probably got 20 or 30 pounds on me, so that's not a battle that I won, and you know, just got a little banged up.
It may be the only thing that Justin's not done right. I mean, you talk about a tear for a young guy who's getting a chance, and I know it's killing you not to play, but the guy who's in your spot over there has been unstoppable.
He's been great, and you know, he's paid his dues. You know, he's done a tremendous job playing wherever we've asked him to play. He's over there at third base, you know, playing it like he's been doing it for years. He's swinging the bat extremely well. And, you know, anything that this team has asked him to do, he's gone out there and excelled at and really made a name for himself.
It really seems, David, like there's a lot more hope around this organization than there was, say, last year, and the mood seems a lot better in your clubhouse.
Oh, it's you know, this is a great team, a great organization. I think we have some guys in place that really have a tremendous plan in the direction that this organization's going, and it's really fun to be a part of, and hopefully I can get back out there on the field, you know, very soon, because it's, you know, I've been here for a while now, and you know, we've been through some bad times, some ugly times, and a few good times, and you know, I want to be part of that solution that gets things turned around in the direction that we should be.
How surprised were you when you found out that you had a stress fracture in your back? I mean, that sounds awful. How do you feel? And I know you say you're on your way back, but was that a shocking revelation to you?
Yeah, it was something where it got to the point where, you know, I kept putting off the MRI, thinking that, you know, it was just one of those things that would go away, and you know, kind of lingered, and it got to the point where, you know, they kind of forced me to go get the test done, and you know, really I thought I was going to go in and out and just kind of be a routine thing, and you know, I was shocked when they said that I was going to miss, you know, a significant amount of time or be put on the DL, because you know, I had no idea that it was that serious, or you know, that it would keep me out for this amount of time. I thought it was something muscular that I could knock out and get out of my system and get back to normal, and you know, the thing that's killing me is that the treatment for this and the rehab for this is nothing, and you know, I feel like I should be doing something to actively get back in the lineup, and it's just the opposite. They said I can't do anything, and I just have to try to rest.
You can be an announcer. We're good at that.
Yeah.
Robinson Cano fly to left. Russell Martin struck out, and now the count's 3 balls and a strike on Nick Swisher, who fly to center his first time up. David Wright with us in the dugout as Swisher fouls one off to the right to run the count full. I talked to a couple of guys in your clubhouse, David, before the game. It seems like your group is really communicating well with your new manager and enjoying the life that he's brought into that dugout and clubhouse.
He's been phenomenal. You know, from a couple weeks before spring training even started, he brought a ton of energy, a ton of enthusiasm, and I think that's rubbed off on the players. I mean, every day he seems to come and just have a crazy positive attitude, and you know, just thinking that you know, pushing us and you know, motivating us on a daily basis.
David, thanks for the time, my man, and get well and get back on the field.
Thanks guys. David. Always a pleasure.
It's a better organization and team with David Wright on the field. It's 4-2 as we go to the 5th here in the Bronx. outs as we go into the 5th inning. That means Tejada, Reyes, and Daniel Murphy. Now a 4-2 Yankee lead. Two-run shots. One by Russell Martin, one by Teixeira. And A.J. Burnett, after giving up 2 runs in the 1st inning, has settled in. Strike 1 and a foul ball by Tejada, who struck out his first time up, and Burnett made him look bad with breaking balls. This is the guy who, if maybe when Jose Reyes is gone from this organization, whether it's at the trading deadline this year or next year in a new deal, we believe Tejada not only has the glove and the ability to be the shortstop of the future, but also will eventually hit. He is just 21 years old. Hit 3 home runs at Buffalo. The AAA club was hitting .267 when he was called up. And Burnett takes care of out number 1. Next Saturday, one of the greatest sporting events in the world comes to Fox as Barcelona battles Wayne Rooney and Manchester United at historic Wembley Stadium. Don't miss 2 of soccer's greatest teams colliding in the UEFA Champions League final next Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific in high def, only on Fox. So a soccer baseball doubleheader next week. Kind of a split doubleheader.
2 round ball doubleheaders.
2 o'clock Eastern is soccer, and then we're back on next Saturday at night. The 0-1 to Reyes. Breaking ball bounces in. A ball and a strike. Jose has doubled and scored and grounded out.
Not like our normal doubleheaders in September, October. Postseason baseball and the regular football season. If there is going to be a football season this year.
I have to believe there will be.
And I do too. But
right now, everything is shut down. Another bouncing curveball to make it 2-1.
Is that the prevailing thought with everybody in football?
I don't know about everybody, but whoever asked me, that's my answer.
Yeah.
Can't imagine a way that they don't play.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-1. Now 3-1 on Reyes, and if Burnett wants to start trouble, putting Jose Reyes on here in the 5th inning up by 2 is a good way to do it. Full count. And a full slate of games next week. On a Saturday night, here comes a 3-2. Reyes. Base hit into right. And it's 1 on, 1 out, and the Mets hope that starts something here in the 5th.
Often the score dictates what kind of pitch you're going to get and what you can do once you're on base. Everybody knowing that Reyes is such a threat to steal. He has 16. That leads the National League. With the 2-run lead, there's no way you throw anything but a fastball to Reyes in that situation.
Here's Daniel Murphy, who is 1 for 2. Homered last night in the 6th inning, and it stood up as the winning run. Broke a 1-1 tie. 2-1 was the final. And a pitch out is just ball 1. Talking about Reyes, who Mets fans have grown to love over the years. Sandy Alderson had an interesting quote. People started asking him about the potential of trading Reyes and trying to get some talent coming back into the Mets organization. As that misses, it's 2-0. He said, what I've seen here is the connection to the fans with Reyes. It goes a little bit beyond his performance, and for a team that's been lacking some fire the last couple of years, when Reyes has been healthy, and certainly in his younger years, One of the most exciting players in the game. There he goes. And Murphy flies one into center. 2 out. Back to first is Reyes.
Jose Reyes turns 28 years old on June 11th. So he is still a very, very young man.
2005 to 2008, he averaged 65 steals and 16 triples per year. As Beltran stands in, 1 on 2 out. Carlos has popped 8 home runs. Hit 3 in a game last week out in Colorado. Beltran tonight has walked and struck out.
Amazing how speed slows the game down.
And Reyes represents that speed over at first with 2 out. And a good pitch by Burnett. Strike 1 on Beltran.
Good curveball to Beltran.
Mets were recently in Houston, where Beltran played in 2004 after he was traded by the Kansas City Royals. Had a tremendous postseason and cashed in on that with a big deal with the Mets. That's strike 2.
We talked about it earlier. Carlos signed as a right-handed hitter. And Kevin Long, the batting instructor of the Yankees, encouraging Beltran in 1997 when Kevin was the coach at Wilmington, Delaware, and Beltran was a first-year player, encouraging him to continue to hit left-handed.
And he has developed, certainly did, into one of the bigger power threats from that side of the plate.
Guess he wants it up and in.
Reyes takes off at a great jump and steals his 17th of the year. And he's at second with 2 out here in the 5th.
I'm not sure what Russell Martin was doing. He was that phantom glove try up and in to Beltran. Reyes steals it easily. The pitch on which he ran was the perfect pitch, the breaking ball in the dirt. A lot of times hitters will go by sound, and maybe he was pounding the mitt, getting Beltran to think it was up and in.
Little floater into right center field for a base hit. And that cuts the lead to 1 as Beltran and Reyes combine for a 2-out run here in the 5th inning.
Martin did it again. He pounded that mid up and in, and this time Beltran got one up and in. This is the previous one. Usually if you do that, you pound the mitt, making a hitter think it's going to be inside. And then he pounded it, and Burnett had the fastball inside. Broken bat base hit, put the Mets 1 back.
And now Jason Bay with a tying run at first, and here is the replay of the hit with Russell Martin showing the target up and in. Beltran took care of it, and now Bay grounds to third for Nunez. The inning is over. The Mets get a run. 2-out RBI. Carlos Beltran. It's 4-3 Yankees halfway through it on a Saturday night. goes. Lowe's, let's build something together. And our Jeep game summary prior to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Yankees up now 4-3. Russell Martin, a 2-run shot, tied it. Teixeira, a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning the opposite way, put the Yankees up 4-2. Now it's 4-3, and Justin Turner drove in a run back in the 1st inning. He has driven in a run in 7 straight. Hanging pitch, and Andrew Jones almost came out of his shoes to swing at it. Strike 1. Capuano. That foul caught the mask of Tolley. Strike 2.
Well, he's had 2 great pitches to hit, 2 hanging breaking balls in the middle of the plate.
Hitting only 200 for the year is Andrew Jones. Tolley wanted it up. A wasted pitch for ball 1. On deck, Eduardo Nunez, then Jeter. This one is skied into right center field for Pridey. Let's go for a DirecTV game break. Here is Chris and Mitch. All right, guys, in a better game than last night when the Red Sox just took apart the Cubs 15-5, winning their 7th straight. Boston now 4 games over 500 after that terrible start, looking for their 8th straight.
Boston 0-6, then 2-11 out of the gate.
Nunez pops it up. Reyes, 2 out.
Joe, you really have to admire a guy like Chris Capuano, who was a Phi Beta Kappa at Duke. And there is Boston, Tampa Bay. The Yankees a half game back. Toronto a game and a half back. Cannot get any tighter in the American League East. I asked Chris last night if, when he had his Tommy John surgery, if he thought about being as smart as he is. He has a degree from Duke, of course. If he thought about going back to graduate school, he said yes, either law school or graduate school, and he had a great answer. He said, I'll be a former player a lot longer than I was a player. Now that requires some intelligence to make that comment.
He misses with ball 1 to Derek Jeter, in a pitcher that his manager Terry Collins said he's not just thinking about the first pitch, but how to set a hitter up and put a hitter away as the guys walk into the plate. Jeter rolls one foul outside third, a ball and a strike. A ball and a strike on Jeter, who singled his last time up. Good game at Yankee Stadium, 4-3, Yankees on top. And with 2 out and nobody on, a 1-1 pitch coming to Jeter. Check swing, and Tejada ends the inning. Into the 6th. Yankees lead it by 1.
those 6 games are really divide, I get alliances in the city.
It's one of my favorite times of the year because it's really a celebration of baseball in New York City.
Well, I love it because the fans, they're going to have a lot of energy. It's going to feel like you play in the World Series, so, I enjoy it.
Players like it. Fans are having fun. Yankees and Mets as we go into the 6th inning in a 4-3 Yankee lead. And a strike is into Fernando Martinez. You saw Jason Bay, one of those faces, one of the guys talking about it. He had a great quote during the week. He spent some time with the Red Sox before signing with the Mets. He was a good player for Boston. And he said, when you go to Yankee Stadium with the Red Sox, everybody hates you. When you go with the Mets, only most of the people hate you. Dave Hudgens, the hitting coach that Jason Bay is talking to as he is trying to find his stroke. Tonight, Bay is 0 for 1. He has a sac fly and a walk.
No good coach ever talks about mechanics during a game. Those mechanics come in the batting cage between games. Work on the mind during the game, whether you're a pitching coach or a batting instructor.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Martinez. 22-year-old is 0 for 2. And now a full count. A 3-2 pitch from A.J. Burnett. And a leadoff walk. That is walk number 3. Handed out by the Yankee right-hander tonight. By the way, Randy Marsh, a longtime, very good Major League umpire, now works as an umpire supervisor, works in the league, and he stopped by our booth before the game and wanted us to pass along, get well wishes to a longtime terrific Major League umpire, Harry Wendelstedt, whose son Hunter is now a good Major League umpire, and Harry is in the hospital down in Florida watching. And there are a lot of people, not just former umpires, but people in this game thinking about Harry. He's in Ormond Beach, Florida, and watching tonight. As Justin Turner took a ball. Turner has been robbed of a hit, as he was in a diving catch by Swisher his last time up, and he has an RBI single. And he's up on the count here, 2-0.
Joe, when you said watching from Florida, I couldn't help but think of Gary Carter, who is watching from Florida tonight, watching from West Palm.
As Larry Rothschild goes out to talk to Burnett, who's walked the leadoff man and now gone 2-0 on Turner here in the 6th.
Gary will undergo surgery on Thursday at Duke Hospital, Duke Medical Facility, and we wish Gary all the best. What a huge player he was in this city for a long, long time.
Nicknamed the Kid.
Nicknamed the Kid. There's the Kid. And the aforementioned Wally Backman.
That was back in '86.
Mets had good reason to hug that year. 108 regular season victories and a world championship.
In a 7-game series over Boston. As Burnett steps off, Tolle, a left-handed hitter on deck, and Boone Logan, a left-hander, getting ready for the Yankees in their pen. Tying run at first. Nobody out. And the new RBI machine for the Mets at the plate. Nunez, Cano, and no other play. Force out at second, 1 out. Tonight's game, presented by Lowe's, is sponsored by Chevrolet. Proud to support youth baseball across the country. And by Michelin, a better way forward. Here is Tolley, who has fly to center and grounded out. And with that out, Burnett gets to stay in the game. Pridey waits to hit next. Should be a double play. Instead, it's kicked by Cano, and he can get only one. Down to second is the tying run, as that ball came up. And instead of getting an inning-ending double play, here's the end of it, as Cano can get just the out at first.
It did take a wacky hop, but in fairness, Robinson Cano has not been the defensive second baseman this year that he was last year. A Gold Glover last year. But he has not been as good or as quick defensively as he was last year. That ball did come up, and that cost the Yankees a chance to get out of the inning.
He already made more errors this year with 4 than he did all of last year when he won the Gold Glove. He had 3. And here's a ground ball, another chance, and the inning is over. Cano couldn't turn 2. Makes the play to end the inning, and Burnett is through the top of the 6th, up by 1. Skies have gone from light to dark on a Saturday night at Yankee Stadium as Curtis Granderson swings and misses at a Chris Capuano breaking ball, and Granderson has really struggled tonight with that pitch. He takes a strike on that very delivery, and Granderson is set up for his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Everything has been away to Curtis. It's Pedro Beato warming for the Mets.
Here's an 0-2. And that one is ripped into right. Another one for Granderson, number 15. And it's a 2-run lead in the 6th inning. 2 strikeouts and then set up at 0-2.
Nobody's going to hit those 2 strikeout pitches. Sliders off the plate. But 0-2 to Granderson, his 3rd time up, and a hanger. That's his 8th home run against left-handed pitching this year. Phenomenal for a guy who struggled while he was with Detroit against left-handers.
And now to Shera, who went deep his last time up into right center field off Capuano. Waits for the 0-1. Strike 2. All of the runs tonight scored by the Yankees have come on home runs. Russell Martin, Teixeira, and now Granderson. And it is remarkable the change that Granderson has made against left-handed pitching. Here's an 0-2. Just off the plate inside. Ball 1. So it's 5-3 here in the 6th. One and 2 on Teixeira. On deck, Rodriguez. In the bullpen, Beato. And a strikeout on a changeup, 1 away.
Good changeup from Capuano. Strikeout number 5.
And with 1 out, here is Rodriguez, who is 1 for 2. Single, scored a run back in the 2nd, lined out, hit a rocket to short his last time up, and almost off balance into left. And gone. Rodriguez doesn't know that it's gone yet. Now he does, and it's home run number 9. And the biggest Yankee lead of the night.
This crowd here at Yankee Stadium saw Daniel Murphy one-hand the ball out last night, and the Mets credit for their 2-1 victory, and that's what Rodriguez does. One-hands it on the changeup. Watch the right hand come off the bat. Takes a lot of strength to do that, folks.
5 1/3 for Capuano. He allowed only 6 hits, but 4 of them left the park. 6-3 Yankees here in the bottom of the 6th. Anderson in the 6th inning. Then Teixeira struck out on a changeup. That allowed Capuano, in the eyes of Terry Collins, to face another right-handed batter. And Alex Rodriguez, almost one-handed off balance, certainly just flipped it into the seats in left. His 9th of the year, his 3rd of the week. And even with a left-handed hitting Robinson Cano coming up, that was it. For Capuano, the starter. Beato was one pitch and gets Cano for out number 2.
Home run number 622 for Alex Rodriguez.
As he is climbing that list, next up is Ken Griffey Jr. And Willie Mays, the Babe, Hank Aaron, and Bonds, he left with 762. And a good pitch in under the hands of Russell Martin, who's homered tonight. His 2-run shot back in the 2nd tied it. Beato, a Rule 5 pickup from the Baltimore Orioles. He can bring it. Went on the DL with elbow tendonitis in early May 4th. Has gone now 17 1/3 innings pitched without allowing an earned run. 1/3 of an inning away from tying a franchise rookie record. And they're happy to have him back. Reyes hitting over. A 4-home run night for the Yankees. The guy who just grounded out, Martin, hit the 1st. That tied it. Teixeira put the Yankees on top. Add-on runs. Granderson, A-Rod into the 7th inning. 6-3. Yanks on top. Remind you, Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Lowe's continues into the 7th. And so does A.J. Burnett, who's about to throw his 95th pitch of the night. And when he does, it'll be to the young second baseman Ruben Tejada, who was struck out, grounded out. And he takes a strike.
That just struck me for the first time that number 42, of course, retired at every major league ballpark because it was the number of Jackie Robinson.
Here's the 0-1. Strike 2.
And Mariano Rivera wears number 42. So when the Yankees retire the great Rivera's number, I guess they'll put another 42 up there next to the great Robinson's number.
That one will have Yankee pinstripes on it.
Yeah.
42 there in Dodger colors. Here's the 0-2. And he went around. Russell Martin will complete the out. One away. So Tejada, who's now the second baseman, and by the way, the fifth that the Mets have used since the start of spring training. Here are the injuries. Johan Santana on the DL. They hope to get him back at the end of July. Young out for the year. He was pitching well. Ike Davis on the DL with a sprained ankle. Pagan is about to come back. Had an oblique injury. David Wright with a stress fracture in his lower back. We heard from him earlier in this game. But Tejada, who just grounded out, follows Luis Castillo, Brad Emus, who was sent back to Toronto, Murphy, Turner, who's now playing third base. Tejada, the latest one after his call up from AAA Buffalo.
I mean, injuries are all part of the game, but at one day this last week here in New York City on Wednesday at the Hospital for Special Surgery, a terrific place, the Mets had 3 guys there in one morning.
Reyes, another hit, his third of the night.
Henry Mejia, who will undergo Tommy John surgery, and then David Wright, and then Chris Young, who's out for the year. In one morning, they had 3 players at that hospital.
Now Girardi will make a move. A 1-out hit. A.J. Burnett will leave up by 3. Boone Logan, the lefty, coming in. 1 on, 1 out. Daniel Murphy coming up as the Yankee fans salute Burnett on his way off the field. The game about his bullpen situation, and he said, I want to always try and save Boone Logan for that one key moment. The Yankees signed longtime Met Pedro Feliciano to a 2-year $8 million deal over the offseason. He was shut down in spring. He's going to start trying to throw in early June. He hopes to be back by July, but they just don't know. He has a rotator cuff strain that popped up at the end of March. David Robertson gets loose, and with the lefty Murphy coming up and Beltran on deck, Girardi chooses this time to use his one left-hander in the pen.
Because you neutralize the speed of Reyes at first base by bringing the left-hander in, and you also neutralize the hitter at the plate. So 2 spots are neutralized by bringing in Logan.
And a base hit into right. The best laid plans. Going first to third is Reyes, and the Mets have something going here in the 7th. A one-handed base hit into right by Daniel Murphy.
So the breaking ball hanging out over the plate, and a good job of hitting by Murphy, who once again pulls the ball with one hand, as he did the home run last night. And another move by Girardi.
That's it. So now the pitcher that the Yankees call Houdini, David Robertson, who has had the ability to get into and then out of trouble, will face the tying run here in the 7th. Great stuff. He comes right into the fire with 2 on and 1 out in the 7th. And he will work to Beltran with runners at the corners, 1 out.
David Robertson has swing and miss stuff. That's why Joe Girardi loves to bring him in. A situation like this with a runner on at third, where you need a strikeout to prevent the run from scoring.
And there is a swing and a miss, strike 1. Beltran, who for all we know could end the year with the Yankees. He's a player that should be in play around the trading deadline. Wouldn't have to move too far if the Yankees picked him up. That's on the outside corner, strike 2. Jason Bay on deck. What a battle between Beltran and Robertson here in the 7th. Ball 1. 2 out and a big strikeout from Robertson here in the 7th.
Think about what he just did to a very good major league hitter. Swing and a miss. Call strike 2. Breaking ball misses. Blew him away.
Out number 2. And in steps Jason Bay. Tying run at the plate. Bay has hit just 2 home runs all year. Pretty good pitch. And a swinging strike on a check swing.
You talk to the hitters around, and the thing about Robertson, Joe, is they can't pick the ball up soon enough. The ball's on top of them too quickly. A great extension. You have extension from a hitter standpoint and from a pitcher standpoint.
94 miles per hour, misses ball 1. Reyes with his 3rd hit of the night came with 1 out that chased Burnett. Daniel Murphy hooked a base hit into right off the lefty Boone Logan. Robertson struck out Beltran, and now the 1-1 to Bay. Strike 2.
See, it's a different type of 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's like Mariano Rivera.
Two and 2. Nobody up in the pen for the Yankees. This is Robertson's 7th inning now. Robertson just slammed the door on the Mets as Teixeira ends the top of the 7th. Houdini gets out of another. A.J. Burnett, his night is finished, giving up 3. Out of the 7th rolls in. Yankees bat up 6-3. Is sponsored by Jeep and by Burger King, now offering $1 frozen drinks. It is Military Appreciation Night here at Yankee Stadium. And before the game, that looks better. The skies had brightened a bit, but there were two gentlemen from the Army who parachuted into this stadium with the rain pounding down. And tonight's game is on American Forces Network, watched by the United States military in 175 countries and ships and sea. And then there's the MLB Fan Cave. And this week, Kenny Rosenthal and Tim McCarver visited the Fan Cave.
Fun, too.
And you can check in at MLBFanCave.com. What was the deal with the bow tie? You look like you were about to referee a boxing match.
Well, I mean, Kenny was wearing it and doing it for charity, so I thought I would do the same. So I had to have it tied, however. They didn't have any clip-ons. The clip-ons are the only ones that I could wear,
but
because I don't know how to.
That looks so much better than a clip-on.
Well, it does, yeah. I fortunately had the right shirt for it, because I had an open neck shirt, and fortunately had the right shirt, and the bow tie even went with it, kind of.
Jabba Chamberlain gets loose. Fox Sports is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. You can learn more by visiting, and we ask you to please do it, standup2cancer.org/Fox Sports. And that was the Stand Up to Cancer bow tie.
Right.
But Kenny Rosenthal, who's now with us, he is in Philadelphia tonight, has worn a bow tie for Stand Up to Cancer. He's worn one for juvenile diabetes and other charitable efforts, and he has done so working with Dhani Jones, a former linebacker with the New York Giants, who was actually here at the stadium tonight.
Ken Rosenthal, by the way, in Philadelphia, watching Cliff Lee shut out the Texas Rangers 2-0 that game in the 8th inning. Cliff Lee back to form after a tough start.
Beato back to work, and this one up the middle. Mets had Swisher played perfectly, and what a good play by Reyes, showing you how good his hands are on a tricky hop. One out.
There are very few guys in the game, when healthy, as good on both sides of the ball as Reyes. Great range, great speed, great hitter, fine power. There's nothing he can't do between the lines.
Beato misses high to Andrew Jones, ball one. It's good to see guys smiling playing this game, and that's what Jose Reyes had on his face after getting out number one. Good breaking ball by Beato, a ball and a strike. Interesting to see where Reyes ends up, both at the end of this year and in the long term. As Tim said, he is about to turn just 28 years old. Beato takes care of Andrew Jones, 2 out.
By the way, speaking of pitching, Tim Lincecum of the Giants, a 2-hitter with Oakland batting in the top of the 9th inning. Bay Area series, Oakland and the Giants.
The A's are a game under 500, but just a game out of first. Texas leads that division. They are trailing, as Tim said, at Philly, as Eduardo Nunez takes a ball. And then there is Los Angeles. The Angels are a 500 club at the start of the day. Left-hander Burdack getting loose. A strike to Eduardo Nunez. Angels play later tonight at home against Atlanta. Breaking ball, hard hit, but there is Turner. And a quick and easy 7th put together by Beato. Let's go to the 8th here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees lead it 6-3. In from the bullpen for the Yankees as we go into the 8th inning. A couple of defensive changes. 3 if you include Jabba. Brett Gardner takes over in left for Andrew Jones. Chris Dickerson, it's good to see him on the field after being hit in the helmet during the week when the Yankees were in Baltimore, is in right for Nick Swisher. And here is Chamberlain, whose stuff has appeared much better in 2011 than it did certainly last year. Is right-hander gets loose for the Mets. Buchholz. So action all over the place as we are into the 8th. 6-3 Yankees. Good job by Robertson. And that's becoming typical for David Robertson as he finished off the top of the 7th.
Houdini, a rather appropriate nickname for David.
2/3, 1 strikeout when he got Beltran, and then popped up Jason Bay representing the tying run at the plate. Here is Cano. And Fernando Martinez is hitless, 0 for 3 on the night.
Either way, same town in which Houdini made his name. New York City.
But did not wear the Yankee pinstripes.
No, he didn't.
There is Justin Turner. Justin has a base hit for an RBI. He is lined out. He didn't like that call. Strike 1. Bounced into a force out back in the 6th. Turner thought this was low. Jammed, and that's strike 2. Last 8 games, and as we said earlier, back in the 1st inning, he knocked in a run in his 7th straight game. That is a new Mets rookie record. Up the middle, Jeter. Nice play. 2 out. You can visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scott's MLB All-Star ballot and enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience. Compliments of Scott's.
Emerald Valley will be hopping around July 10th, 11th, and 12th. All-Star game being played on July 12th in Arizona.
There's a strike to Tolley. And Mariano Rivera starts his ritual, getting loose out in the bullpen for the Yankees. He has blown 3 saves this year, and Jabba Chamberlain is trying to set him up for another chance. That is the 8th pitch from Chamberlain, and the first out of the strike zone from number 62. Mets won here last night 2-1. Yankees lead tonight in the 8th. 6-3. Good, sharp inning from Jabba Chamberlain. 9 pitches, 3 outs. As we take you through Manhattan, the side of a taxi. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Yanks. Lowe's is sponsored by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV, and by Viagra. We go into the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees are riding good pitching. Burnett, good work by Chamberlain. In the middle, it was David Robertson, and they've gotten, what, 4 home runs tonight offensively?
From 4 different guys. Started by Russell Martin to tie it, and then Teixeira. A-Rod's chipped in. Seems like everybody has chipped in.
Yes, they have. And right. A-Rod had that one-handed home run that he flipped out of here to left, reminding everybody just how strong he is.
Home run number 622 in his marvelous career.
As we go into the bottom of the 8th, Derek Jeter first up. So top of the order against Taylor Buchholz, who is the 3rd pitch of the night for the Mets. And a strike hits the outside corner. Capuano at 5 1/3. Allowed 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 home runs. Beato, an inning and 2/3 was perfect. And now Taylor Buchholz. This is a bullpen that is one of the best in baseball, period. And during the month of May, the pen for Terry Collins has an ERA just over 1. Breaking ball misses, down and away, a ball and a strike.
Saw Derek Jeter attempt to bunt that first pitch, and one of the reasons for that, he knows how tough Buchholz is to hit. Right-handed batters have hit 136 against Buchholz so far this year.
And that's strike 2. Last night for the Mets, R.A. Dickey went 6. And then it was Mike O'Connor, the lefty, followed by Jason Isringhausen, who has had a revival returning to the Mets organization. And then the closer, Francisco Rodriguez, who has been brilliant. They were perfect over the last 3 innings. Hector Noesi joins Rivera in the bullpen. Jeter did not go around in the count, 2-2. Look at this month. Now in the area of 1.04, and opponents hitting 182 against the Mets pen. Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, who's been in that position for the Mets since June of 2008. So he was a holdover. Here's a 2-2. Right back up the middle, base hit. Second of the night for Jeter. And that's how the bottom of the 8th inning begins. Look ahead to the games next Saturday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And there are 3 headliners, but 3 of 6 matchups. You see the bottom line. Also the Angels, Twins, Royals, Rangers, Cardinals, and Rockies. Reds and Braves, Phillies and Mets. That's where Tim and I will be, or the Red Sox and the Tigers, and nobody's hotter in the game than Adrian Gonzalez for the Red Sox, who have won 7 straight and who are playing at home and are winning 3-1 over the Cubs tonight. Jeter takes off and has stolen base number 3. Got a great jump, and Tolley could not find the handle.
That's saying something. The all-time stolen base thief, Ricky Henderson, with over 1,400, and Derek Jeter tying the great Henderson. Hall of Famer.
Now the count of 2-0 on Granderson. Tolley is out to talk. Yankees have their big bats trying to add to a 3-run 8th inning lead. And the 2 New York shortstops talk it over. 2-0. 2-1. Granderson went deep his last time up. 15 home runs. Second best total in the AL. How about this list? Granderson's on now for the Yankees in their great history through the team's first 44 games. Granderson's on the list with names like Maris, Mantle, who did 20. 1956, A-Rod with 18 and 07. Tino Martinez in 97 with 17. Full count on Granderson with Jeter at second, nobody out.
The interesting thing about that graphic also is that Roger Maris did that in 1960, not in 1961. Roger, the MVP, also in 1960. So 2 years back to back, 60 and 61. And of course the famous year of 61 when he hit 61.
Here is a 3-2 pitch from Buchholz. Got under it, skies it into right. And in front of the track, Beltran makes the catch. Tagging going to third is Jeter with one out. And Granderson with a productive out, moving Jeter 90 feet away from the plate.
Curtis a bit upset that he didn't hit that ball off the end of the world. He just missed a home run on that low fastball from Buchholz.
By the way, you mentioned end of the world. Glad we passed 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes, right.
We're still here.
Yeah. Nice going. Made another one.
Predictions. I don't know who weighed in with this one, but that deadline came and went.
Yes.
Infield is in. Teixeira takes a ball high. Jeter led off with a hit, stole second, went to third, and the fly ball to right by Granderson. Teixeira. Ball and a strike. Noesi getting loose as you watch the swinging strike.
One would think that the reason Noesi is joining Rivera is if the Yankees score a run, then Noesi will be the pitcher. If not, Rivera.
Noesi went 4 scoreless innings in a 15-inning game. Got the win on Wednesday in Baltimore. 1-1. Strike 2.
That was a game in which Mariano Rivera blew his last save. That was his third blown save of the year, as Joe said earlier.
Noesi threw 66 pitches in that game. He's conditioned as a starter, but he was down at AAA, and that's what he's been. They're getting ready out in the pen in case the Yankees extend their lead. Two and two. Teixeira went deep last night. He went deep tonight. Last night batting left-handed as he stands in there now. Earlier in this game batting right-handed off Capuano, who's on the hook for the loss. Unless the Mets rally in the ninth, when they'll have the bottom two in their lineup to start it. And Noesi is taking a seat, and Louis Ayala is getting loose. Here's a 2-2. Full count. So Ayala joins Rivera, and right now it's only Ayala doing the throwing out in the pen. should do the trick. Beltran makes the catch. Jeter tags and scores, and it's 7-3. Yankees here in the 8th. And the Yankees produce a run for the first time tonight without benefit of a home run. Single, stolen base, and 2 fly balls to right, and Mariano Rivera goes back into the soundproof booth
for the moment.
As A-Rod steps in, base is empty. Alex is homered tonight. Scored 2 runs. He singled in his first at bat back in the second. Scored on the home run by Russell Martin. Reyes gathers it in, shows off his arm. We go to the 9th, another run for the Yankees. Trying to split the first 2 games of this 3-game set. Up 7-3. Right-hander Luis Ayala enters in the 9th with his Yankees up 7-3. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Mets. Next Saturday, one of the greatest sporting events in the world comes to Fox as Leo Messi in Barcelona battle Wayne Rooney and Manchester United at historic Wembley Stadium. Don't miss 2 of soccer's greatest teams colliding in the UEFA Champions League final next Saturday at 2 Eastern. 11 a.m. Pacific in high definition on Fox. Here are the numbers for Ayala, who is not that long off the disabled list, an ERA of 1.86, and he will try and shut it down here in the top of the 9th. Just in case, Mariano Rivera is getting ready again. And a strike to Jason Pridey. Willie Harris has come into the on-deck circle. Strike 2. Here is the 0-2. A good zip from the guy who throws down off to the side. It's ball one. Righty's 0 for 3. He's flying to right, grounded out to second twice. And leading off the ninth inning, he strikes out. One away. Coming up next on Fox, except on the West Coast, it's your late local news, followed by Fox Late Night, featuring Fringe and 30 Seconds to Fame. Check your local listings. Here's Willie Harris with one out and nobody on. The producer of tonight's game is Pete Macheska, the director Bill Webb. Thanks to Steve Horn, our editorial consultant here in the booth. Associate director is Brian Biederman. Broadcast associate is Eric Mandia. There's a strike from Ayala, and the technical director Jonathan Evans. Pregame show produced by Don Bowie.
Also our pals Wayne Fiddleman and Brian Biederman, who came up with the name for these Mets, even though only 45 games into the season. Asked them what song the Mets reminded them of, and they cleverly came up with Bob Marley's Buffalo Soldiers. That's kind of what Terry Collins' group has been. Buffalo, the AAA farm team of the Mets. All you reggae fans out there, Buffalo Soldiers, disguised as Mets.
They had 4 guys in their lineup tonight that started the season at AAA Buffalo. Terry Collins group won last night 2-1. Trailed tonight 7-3 in the top of the ninth. The 0-2. Still 0-2. Mets playing without Ike Davis, without that guy David Wright, without Pagan, who's on his way back. Maybe the beginning of next week he's on a minor league rehab assignment. There is another 0-2 pitch. And 2 strikeouts start the ninth from Ayala. And it will give the fans here one more chance to see Jose Reyes, who is trying for a 4-hit night. Yankees on the verge of breaking their 6-game home losing streak. It started when the Royals were in town. Strike one. Lost the last 2 to the Royals, lost all 3 to the Boston Red Sox, and lost last night to the Mets. That stays inside, ball one. That is about to end. And Ayala trying to make it end right now. The 1-1. Into center, and Ayala does make it end right now as Granderson puts it away, and the Yankees win it 7-3. Winner tonight, A.J. Burnett. Loser is Capuano. Studio show is coming up on the other side of the break as the Bay City Rollers will take us out. 7-3. The Yankees win it in a 2-hour 44-minute game and a fun Saturday night here in New York.